Welcome back to FHTV Plus. Today, YouTube and Man United royalty. Here he is, Saeed TV. Saeed, how are we, sir? You well?
Yeah, good. Can't complain, man. Life is all good. You know what I mean? Obviously, our teams are not great, but there is maybe something in the end to kind of get us all smiling. But yeah, all good. Thanks for having me on. And hopefully we have a good chat, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Listen, look, there's two things. I want to talk about this in two halves. I want to first half, we've got to talk about the thing that might make one of us smile, which is the Europa League. Maybe none of us, but we'll talk about that first and foremost. And then for the second half, I want to talk about, I asked you to give me a quote about Man United, and yours was short but sweet. It was huge United rebuild. So I want to talk about that for the second half. But look, let's start, Saeed, and talk about the elephant in the room. Both our clubs have had absolute. I think that the kids call it stinker and hooked. It's a stinker and hooked, right? This season. I'm not cool enough to say that, but both our clubs, by hook or crook, are one game away from playing each other in a Europa League final, which does give you, I suppose, which does give our clubs the pot of gold that is the Champions League.
Of course.
What do you make about United and Spurs and their Europa League runs? And are they, for you, are they both going to play each other in the final? Is this an English final?
You know what? I actually I hope so. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it would be good for the Premier League, good for the entertainment content purposes, I suppose.
And
I just think
would be fire, wouldn't it?
Yeah, YouTube would be
fire. Spurs United.
Oh, it'd be amazing. And I look at it, I'm like, it is crazy that we are here, but you know, this is what competitions are about. You know, you got to win your games. You know, maybe the opposition aren't that great, but at the end of the day, you got to play what's in front of you. You know, you don't pick and choose who you're playing. We've beaten Lyon. We just beat Bilbao first leg. We are in a good spot here. We beat Real Sociedad, so we're beating some decent teams. And yeah, like it feels surreal. It feels like it's like how have we remained unbeaten? I mean, forget the fact that we're in the semi-finals. Unbeaten is also mad. Like, you know, and if you look at our Premier League record, we've got 16 losses. And I just struggle to sometimes believe it, but we're here and we need to take full advantage. We have to win this competition. It's not even like a case of like, oh, but you know what? If we didn't lose it, I could hear it. No, it's a win, or it's the season where you've got to absolutely look and say shame on you, because it is embarrassing, the season we've had. You know, I know you'll talk about yours in a bit, but I don't know what your description is for your season, but ours is embarrassing. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say I'll see your 16 league defeats and I'll beat you by saying 19 league defeats. But yeah, listen, 35
we might get to 19 though. We've still got 3 games left, so we might get to 19.
We've still got to play Aston Villa away. So like we've got Brighton, Palace and Aston Villa. So but look, you are right. For me, I've said all the way along, I think Spurs have had a really nice route to the final. And yes, you've got to beat who's in front of you. But let's assume like Spurs have got it trickier than you lot. You lot are 3-0 up. You're playing at home. Bilbao, I've heard this morning officially, are without both the Williams brothers and Sancet as well, who's, for me, their best player. So you should go through. We've got the trickier tie away, plastic pitch, Norway, bit unknown. Yeah. But let's assume, for the purposes of this conversation, that we're both in the final. Let's just assume we're in the final. Who does it hurt more not winning it? Is it Man United being the size of club you are, that are used to winning trophies, Ineos that have just come in the last year or so? Or is it Spurs, who built this massive stadium, built on the premise that we were going to be getting Champions League revenue, and suddenly we would have no European revenue at all next year? Plus, we're already £37 million down on Premier League revenue from last year. So who does this hurt more? Or is it just we're both up shit creek if we don't get it?
I think equally it hurts more, man. Because, listen, I don't want to do the whole thing of, but Tottenham have not won a trophy since 2008. Like, you can't have the season you had now and say that I always win trophies in my second season. You know, all that combined, we then come in, sack our manager. Everyone is almost like justifying losses and saying, well, it's okay to lose because we got Europa League final or Europa League whatever coming up. Like, all of these things that we've been hearing, it has to lead to something. Both of our clubs, it has to lead to something. If Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, all of these other clubs make Champions League football, which is likely at the minute, only one of our clubs will have nothing. Nothing. Like, we will have we'll be watching.
Not even a Conference League to fall back on. Not even anything. Just nothing.
Nothing. You know, sometimes, you know, they always say the runners up, they always get something. You know, in tennis, you always get a runners up trophy. You don't even get that now. You know, it's nothing. So I believe it's equally embarrassing. I'll only speak on my part, and I'll say it will be severely, severely embarrassing. The manager could lose his job, and you know, I mean, talk about rebuild. That money and that situation there, it's gonna be very, very limited, because then all of a sudden they're banking on that Champions League money. They are 100 million you get for making the Champions League, 100 million from that Europa League. So it's a lot of money, and we need this. Like, it's inexcusable. It's like not even comprehensible. Like, we need to win this.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you. And listen, from a Spurs point of view, Saeed, you know, at the moment, and I can't see it changing, this is going to be our worst ever Premier League season.
Wow.
Our worst ever Premier League points is 44, and we're currently sitting on 38 with 3 games to go. So we'd need to win 2 and draw 1 to beat that. So I hear you, man. But I think I know as football fans, we hate having the conversation about revenue. And, you know, I always say to people, I'm not an accountant, but you know what? The older I've got, the more I appreciate. We might not want to talk about the money side of it, but if our clubs don't get it, you are looking at the 100 odd million that you would get depending on how far you go in the Champions League, right? Both clubs have lost a massive amount of money in Premier League revenue. You've then got to try and attract players and say, hey, we're not even in the Conference League. It's one of those games for me that the loser, it could set them back for years, Saeed.
Years.
I don't want to be dramatic, but I do think you've got Newcastle and Villa that in the last few years that have gone, hang on, we want to join the party. Chelsea are going to spend. City, Liverpool, Arsenal. You've got Forest. If they get Champions League, our 2 teams, one of us is going to be left behind, mate.
I know. Left behind.
Left behind.
You know, and also just like, you know, like there's no guarantee of making Champions League football next year. Like, you know, you might have lost your best opportunity, because next year you won't have a competition. Maybe, okay, you might win the FA Cup and you get the Europa League, but it's like, you know, this is our chance. This is our moment now. We have to seize it. For you lot, it is worrying that you've got a couple of injuries and whatnot, and yours isn't as guaranteed as ours. We've got Inaki Williams and Nico out of the squad, and I think they're their top scorer. So we've got something to hold on to. With you lot, it is still 3-1. 2 goals isn't. It's not like, you know. I know you guys can score. Don't get me wrong, but on that pitch there, they beat Lazio as well. They came back from beating Lazio, who were not a
They beat Lazio there. Porto there, Roma there, Olympiacos there.
Wow. Wow. That is, you know, no disrespect, but that's bigger teams than Tottenham, you know. And
do you think Spurs go through from the position we're in? No, we've got no James Maddison, which is our he's our Bruno Fernandes, if you will. Whatever people think Bruno is your goal scorer, he's our Bruno. Do Spurs go through for you?
You know what? I'm not confident when I say this, but I think they'll just about sneak through. But I genuinely, honestly, it is very, very. You've got to remember, they're going to create an absolute cauldron of noise. They're going to create, like, this is their moment now. Win the game. You got to remember, they got to win the game, get 2 goals early on. A 3-1 is it 3-1 they go through? Do they go through 3-1? Or they need to
3-1. I mean, if they win 3-1, then it's going to extra time. So
extra time. Okay. But like I said, they need to just find something within them. Tottenham just need to control the game and manage the game. That's what we need to do. Manage the game. Manage it. Can Ange manage it? Can Amorim manage it? We'll find out.
Well, I mean, look, this is the big thing for me is that, you know me, Saeed. I've not wanted this manager for 18 months. I'm of the opinion, and some of your fans listening to this that watch this might think I'm crazy, but I'm of the opinion, even if this manager wins the Europa League, I can't forgive what he's done for 18 months in the Premier League. Right. And what I don't want to do, just before we talk about your rebuild, we'll use this to link into your rebuild.
Yeah.
What I don't want to do is win the Europa League, right? And make the same mistake you guys did with Ten Haag. Because for me, I'll start off by asking you this. If you could go back 12 months now, Saeed, right? You've just won the FA Cup against City.
Yeah.
Would you say, thank you very much, Eric, bring in Amorim then and say, right, the 200 odd million that Ten Hag had, that can now go on this manager who can start his rebuild?
No, 100%. That's what I wanted originally. I wasn't part of the crew that wanted to send the letters to Ineos. I wasn't part of that. I was of the kind of opinion of, you know what, give me the FA Cup. Thank you very much. Respectfully, thank you. And we move on amicably. And then they didn't do that. They listened to the fans. They listened to the moment. And then what happens is, if Daniel Levy gets caught up in the moment of what it means, then says, you know what, you deserve more. That's where you get. It's like now with Leeds, for example. Leeds have gone up with Daniel Farke. He's got a record of not really doing well in the Championship. If you actually look at it. So if they've given him a job now, but they've backed him now. They should really sack him, really, and get a proven Championship manager or proven manager in the Premier League. They're going to make that mistake of, come December, they're struggling, they'll sack Daniel Farke. So they've got to, they've been caught up in the emotion of their Leeds fans saying, give him the job. What are you doing? He's done an amazing job.
They would have had all the budget in the summer. The new manager comes in and you go, hang on, I want some of my own players.
It's what I'm trying to say. I can't work with it. So with us, and this is the problem, it's difficult with Amorim. Amorim, yes, he's done a disaster job and whatnot, but he's got a bit more kind of leeway because it is his players, and he's coming in a difficult time where he's got to pick a different system, different back line, whatever you want to call it. It's a bit different to the Ange situation. But what I will say though is, if he was sacked after not winning the Europa League, I can't complain. I can't, for me, say it's a scandalous decision.
Do you think that?
I answer. I wanted to stay, but I could understand if they did sack him because you have the season you had, and then you don't win the Europa League. To a Tottenham team, possibly. I'm sorry.
But let me ask. Because when I said to you, give me a phrase or give me a caption, and you said huge United rebuild. Does, even if you don't win the Europa League, doesn't Amorim deserve that? Because if you've got a manager that's come in, clearly your squad isn't good enough. I don't care what anyone says. I think you've got some good players, but I don't think your squad's good enough. I don't think it's 14th. Surely Amorim deserves more than Dorgu and Europa League or bust. Surely he deserves a summer, and you say, right, if this time next year we're in the bottom half, you failed. Is it?
I agree. I actually agree. That's where my thought has been when I've been debating with the lads and that. I've always said, like, we've got to give him time to have his own players and bring his own players in. Like, what he wants to morph into our squad and philosophy, it has to be enhanced by better quality players. And I've maintained that. But I also understand that, you know what, if he doesn't win the Europa League, the season we've had right now, the results have been it's very scary, and that could extend to next season. We don't know yet. We don't know what start season we're gonna have next season. So people are then going to remember, oh, he didn't win the Europa League, but remember that bad season he had in the Premier League. And I worry for him psychologically. We move into that next season where you've got to win. You've got to win at least 3 or 4 out of your first 5 for people to be like, you know what?
Let me just, you need a huge rebuild. right?
Absolutely.
And you know, I think the word rebuild is used way too much in football. I don't think it is used in the wrong way for Man United. I genuinely think you need a huge rebuild. I think, you know, you've the Sanchos, the Rashfords, the Casemiros, the
Yeah.
Mounts, I think they all need to go, in my opinion, and you need to start again. Talk to me about this rebuild, because I saw the other day that you're deep in talks with Matheus Cunha, which I think is a fantastic signing. There's talks that Amorim has asked for, again, I don't know how true, you know, we read all these reports that he's asked for Gyökeres.
Yeah.
If you've got Amorim next year with this 3-4-3 that you play, and you've got Dorgu, who's his player, now in your front three, instead of Højlund and Garnacho, you've got Cunha and Gyökeres, and you get 2 other players and 3 other players throughout the team.
It makes it look so much better.
It all looks a bit different in the Man U garden, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. And this is why I always say, like, you know, I looked at his tactics and I looked at his player quality. Which one is which one's the problem? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's the player quality more than the actual tactics. Cool. We demand more from the players. Sorry, for the manager. It's unacceptable, these losses. But then I'm like, who am I relying on to score goals? Who do I say, right, you take us out of a problem? Bruno's done it, to be fair. There's been situations where other players have done it. But consistently, though, you need players that can, you don't need to micromanage. They win you the game, cool, tactics or not. We used to have it with Wayne Rooney. Yeah, cool, the manager's unbelievable. But Ronaldo and these guys will win them the game. You know, they go out the pitch and win you the game.
You can play badly for 90 minutes. One of them's going to do something. One
of them's going to do something. You know, I remember Gareth Bale for Tottenham, like, that season, I was like, wow, single-handedly, like, destroying teams on his own. And this is what you need. Like, as much as tactics are everything in football, players step up when they need to. You know, you only got to look at, you know, Lamine Yamal for Barcelona and all these players. They're just exceptional footballers. So for us, it does look so much better when you've got, I think for me, 5 new starters next year that go into that team. I'm like, they go in straight away, instantly into the starting 11. Starting 11.
And let's say, I mean, I think Cunha is definitely going to go to you guys, possibly Gyökeres, because of the relationship he's got with Amorim. Imagine you've got those two. That's 40 Premier League goals minimum between them.
I know.
That's huge. And I was having this chat. I can't even remember who it was. It could have been Kazi. I don't know. It could have been one of the Man United fans I work with. And I said, the reason I don't think Man U fans should go too hard on Amorim is Amorim's come from having a front three of players like Trincao, Gyökeres, etc., etc. Who's the brilliant player in them? It's not a Fernandes. There's another one that plays it. He scores like 20 goals a season for them. I've forgotten his name. That's really bad of me. Matheus Fernandes, maybe, or someone. Anyway, right. Now he's got a front three at United. If we look at Garnacho, Højlund, and Diallo, or whoever else, when I look at that, Man United used to have 3 senior pros in front of them that would be your senior main men, and those guys would be playing cup games, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. That 3 should not be a Man United front 3. Sorry, for me, for how big a club you are,
it's spot on, mate. It's spot on.
Should have been bought in for me. I know the price tag's not his fault. That's the guy you bring in and say, we're going to mold you for the next 2 years. You're going to play a second fiddle to Gyökeres.
Kane.
Your trade.
Kane. Yeah. It should have been Kane. It should have been Kane. But listen, the money was too much at the time. They had one price for buying, one price for us. Because at the end of the day, Tottenham and Man United, I'm not saying we're rivals, but we're technically fighting for the same position, top 4.
Welcome to Daniel Levy economics.
Yeah, there you go. We're fighting for top 4, so it's like, yeah, okay, cool. But what do you do then? It's like, that's the problem. Like, we've got to like sort out so many stuff. And right now, this is Europa League or bust now. And it's so scary to think that there's 2 more games for us to determine our rebuild. 2 more games. You know,
how many for you need to, we've only got 2 minutes left, but how many for you need to go out of Man United and how many need to come in? Because when we use the word rebuild, that suggests a lot. But by the way, something just really funny. I saw yesterday on Sky Sports News, it came up with Huddersfield Town have released 19 players. And I was like, that's a rebuild. That's a rebuild. That's a rebuild. But
that's crazy.
How many
19,
out? How many in at Old Trafford?
We need out at least 5 to 7, and then bring in 5 to 7. Do you know what I mean? Okay. It could be more, but we need 5 to 7 starters. So, you know, yeah, you got the starters maybe become squad players that have been playing recently. So the Maguires and all that have been starting games, they become squad players, and then the guys that need to come in straight away, they start in. They go in straight away. So if we don't sell Garnacho becomes bench. Hoyland, if we don't sell him, he becomes bench. But like I said to you, the main guys, they come in and they start. 5 to 7 starters. They have to come in. If they don't, that's where we're in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah, it can't be more players that come in at the ilk that you've been buying. It's got to be. But I still think, as I said, if Cunha's a great start for me, I think that's a player that I can only dream of Spurs sort of going out and signing.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to ask you some questions to round this off. I want quick fire answers.
Okay, cool.
Are Man United making the final of the Europa League?
Yes.
Are Man United winning the Europa League?
Yes.
Are Man United going to start next season with Ruben Amorim as coach?
Yes.
And will Man United compete next year for the top 4?
No.
One step too far, the top 4.
Yeah, one step too far. I have to almost be surprised next season. I don't think we will, personally, anyway.
No, listen, Saeed, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. Anybody watching it, I'd say this sounds really silly. Go and subscribe to Saeed. I'm sure you have. He's got like 900,000 subscribers or something now. So please go and subscribe to him. If any of Saeed's viewers are watching this, please give the channel a like. Really appreciate you. This is my non-Spurs channel. It doesn't mean I can't speak Spurs, but I'm a football fan first and foremost. Saeed, thanks very much. Good luck for your game tomorrow. It's got no relevance of my game. Good luck tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if there is a final and we're both doing a watch along, I'm sure there's going to be a phone call in there somewhere. So
yeah, definitely, man. Thank you, honestly. Good luck, mate. And hopefully see you in the final.
Yeah, man. Take care. Listen, everybody, see you later. And as always, this is shameless, but come on, you Spurs.